The relationship cycle with a fearful avoidant, it is a pattern that will follow in each and every relationship that the fearful avoidant has until they heal their attachment wounds. Understand that fearful avoidants have a disorganized attachment style. This means they have an anxious preoccupied and a dismissive avoidant attachment. They have them simultaneously, and they can swing back and forth between these attachment styles within a relationship. And it all depends on what triggers are happening at the moment. The first phase of this relationship cycle is the love bombing phase. Now, not all fearful avoidants will come across as strong as others, but some do come across very, very strong. There's a strong connection, a strong chemistry early on. The fearful avoidant is all in. They're showing up for their partner. They're talking about future plans. They are riding the dopamine wave, the oxytocin wave, the feel-good hormones that go off in the brain early in the relationship. The fearful avoidant is often addicted to the infatuation stage. And during this stage, they truly believe that they are all in. But unfortunately, the first phase never lasts forever. It leads to the second phase. And the second phase, well, that can happen months or even years into the relationship. The second phase is the fault-finding phase. This is where the fearful avoidant becomes hypervigilant. They are looking for any inconsistencies that they can find in their partner, any flaws, because their fears of abandonment, their fears of rejection, their fears of losing their independence are really starting to bubble up to the surface. These fears come from the fact that they were emotionally neglected as children, but in addition to the emotional neglect, they often experienced a chaotic environment and perhaps, in some cases, even emotional or physical abuse. So what they learned is that if you rely on somebody for your emotional needs, they're going to reject you and abandon you and possibly even mistreat you. So fearful avoidants have an inherent distrust, and this distrust comes out in the second phase. But the problem is they do not communicate their fears to their partner. They don't communicate any of the problems that they're seeing in the relationship. They don't tell their partner at all. And as far as their partner is concerned, it feels like the honeymoon phase is still ongoing. And this person is riding cloud nine, thinking that they are with their forever person. But unfortunately, now that they've been finding all these faults and not communicating it, and by the way, they don't communicate because they've learned to associate communication with rejection, this will lead to the third phase. And the third phase is a brutal one. And the third phase is the abrupt discard. It is blindsiding. It is absolutely traumatic. And this can happen even years into a relationship with a fearful avoidant. Something triggered their fears after the fault-finding phase, because all these fears have been building up, and then something happens, triggers them into full dismissive avoidant mode. The fearful avoidant will deactivate. They will take their feelings for their partner, suppress them. They will bury them. They won't allow themselves to access their own feelings for their partner. This is how they keep themselves safe, by avoiding emotions, avoiding processing emotions, avoiding their feelings for their partner, and avoiding self-reflection and avoiding accountability. When the partner who is blindsided asks for any kind of clarification as to why the relationship is ending, they will be given the same vague excuses that a regular dismissive avoidant would give. I'm just not ready for a relationship. I just need time and space to work on myself, etc., etc. In some cases, they may get a very specific reason as to why the relationship is ending. Something that the fearful avoidant was unhappy about in the relationship. But this will be quite new to the partner because they were never told about it. So now they're not even given an opportunity to fix whatever it is that was bothering the fearful avoidant. This is absolutely traumatic, it is blindsiding, and it comes out of nowhere. Now, the fearful avoidant feels like it didn't come out of nowhere because they've been building up these fears and resentment for quite some time. Now, this will lead to the fourth phase. So, in the fourth and final phase of this relationship cycle, usually in the beginning, the ex, the one that was discarded, will desperately try to get the fearful avoidant back into the relationship. But the fearful avoidant is still in their avoidant mode, so they will often stonewall and maybe even ghost their ex, giving them no closure whatsoever. But once the ex goes into no contact, the fearful avoidant will allow themselves to flip back into anxious mode. This can come after weeks or a handful of months of no contact. The timeline can vary. Now they're second guessing the breakup. They're thinking to themselves, oh, I made a mistake. Oh, I missed this person. I shouldn't have pushed them away. So they will want to reach out to their ex, but they fear rejection. They learn to associate communication with rejection. They learn this as a child. And rejection leads to abandonment. It's all these profound fears within the fearful avoidant. So they will breadcrumb their partner. They'll send out little feelers. This could come in the form of watching social media stories, liking social media posts, unblocking their ex if they had them blocked, or reaching out to mutual friends and asking about their ex, hoping that their ex will take the bait. Now, if the ex takes the bait, this can go a couple different ways. First way, and the most common way, is that the avoidant gets the validation. They feel much better about themselves because their ex just validated them that they're still wanted. They know that their ex is still an available option for them. So they no longer feel pressured or worried about losing their ex forever. So they can generally continue to just breadcrumb their ex here and there to keep that validation stream incoming, but never really returning to the relationship. The other option is that they actually do rekindle it and get back into the relationship with their ex, only to do the cycle all over again, which ends in the inevitable discard once again. And this cycle can happen over and over and over and over again with the same ex, with the fearful avoidant. And that's because the fearful avoidant is not self-reflecting. They're not taking accountability. They are not turning those eyeballs inward to see what it is within them that causes them to shut down and push their partner away. Now, for the fearful avoidant that does not get back into the relationship with their ex, they can quickly sometimes hop into a new relationship with somebody else, get that infatuation, get that honeymoon phase validation, and start the cycle all over again. And this can result in failed relationship after failed relationship after failed relationship after failed relationship, until the avoidant really truly begins to self-reflect at a deep level and take accountability. But as long as they avoid self-reflection, well, they'll just keep on thinking to themselves, I just can't seem to find the right person.